Hi everybody, welcome or welcome back. If you are new here, hi, I'm Rhoda. Today we're talking about the new Natasha Denona Mini Eye Sculpt Palette. I got strangely excited, overly excited about such a basic looking palette, but I think it just looks beautiful. I think it looks beautiful. I love the gradient, and of course I love Natasha Denona's eyeshadow formula, so I immediately added to cart. So now it's here in my hot little hands. So let's talk about it. This palette is $27 US and $43 Canadian on the Natasha Denona website, but when I looked it up on Beautylish, it was $38, but not available right now. So once it's back on Beautylish, I would pick it up there because that's a $5 difference. Don't know why there's a difference, but there is. This is Natasha's first all matte mini palette. It is made in Italy and it has a 24-month shelf life. We've got two formulas in this palette. These first two lightest shades are her Silky Matte formula. This is her newest formula. And these last three deeper shades are her Classic Matte formula. Let's get some swatches going. Here are the swatches. They all seem to look quite neutral. This one right here is a touch warmer than the rest, but we have a pretty neutral, beautiful gradient of basic shades. And I do love that she has included a black in here because a black always is welcome in a palette. All of my makeup is done. It will be listed and linked in the description box. All we have left to do is eyeshadow. So, and mascara. Let's get an eye look on. I think I want to start with the second shade here. This is a Refer Shodo 03, and I want to get this on my crease and hope that it doesn't look gray on me, because sometimes that can happen with shades like this. I have to say, when I was swatching, the shadows just felt very creamy, and they just glided right on. Okay, no, I am not looking gray. It's looking pretty neutral. And I'm really happy about that. I do pick up like a slight pink, like a pinky undertone on this one, although you wouldn't know it to look at it in the pan. But again, these shadows, any shadow, when we're talking about this type of color, can change on my skin tone. But I think it looks lovely. As long as it's not gray, unless I'm going for a gray look, then I'll grab a gray shadow. This is a beautiful transition shade. Easy blend, but I'm not surprised. I'm just gonna do the same on this eye. So this shade right here, the second shade, I have to say is very close to my skin tone. So it's not really showing up, but I don't mind that. I like having a shade like that I can use as a transition shade in my crease. There's something there, but is there something there kind of thing. I always like having an option like that in a palette. Okay, let's deepen up a little bit. I'm going to go into the third shade. Same brush. There is a lot of dustiness when you dip your brush in, so be sure to tap off. And I'm going to start deepening the crease. And I'm going to take it out a little bit as well. Ooh, I love this one. This one's a beautiful neutral mid-tone brown. I'm going to start kind of bringing it out just a little bit here. Deepen that just a little bit more. I'm going to go into that darker brown as well, the one that was slightly warmer leaning, but not really, very little, to my eyes, and it from the swatches. So far, I'm finding these are very soft. As I work my way up the gradient, I'm not getting, you know, a crazy dark look. I'm starting with the lightest, going to the darkest. They are pigmented. They're pigmented, but you can build on top of them and you're good. You could leave it here and go about your day. Add some mascara, add some eyeliner if you want, but I want to build on this look, so I'm going to go onto the next deepest shade. I'm grabbing a Refer 01 and going into this shade right here, next to the black one. Just touching. It's very, very pigmented. And I'm going to start stamping this in the outer corner. Oh, it just lays down beautifully. It does. Make a little deeper look, a little bit more of a dramatic look. Is it warm? A little bit warm. It's the warmest of the bunch. I like the idea of an all matte mini palette. I love her mini palettes. I love them because they're just so convenient. They really, really are. The formula is great. They don't take up a lot of room. They're great for travel. And an all matte palette to have in your collection to pair with your favorite sparkle shadow, if you wanted to add one, I think is a wonderful idea and a great addition to her mini lineup. I do have some palettes that this new mini reminded me of right away, and I will do some comparisons for you when we're done this look. Okay, we're getting smoky. We're getting smoky, and I love it. This shade and this shade, I'm loving. I think I want to go back to this number 2 shade. Actually, did I tell you what they're called? It's fair, light, medium, deep, and black. Aptly named shadows. I'm going to go back into light, the second shade. This is a Refer 02, nice and flat, and I'm going to add this to my lid, brighten that up a little bit. Like I said, this shade is quite close to my skin tone. I didn't want to go in with that vanilla fair shade. I think it would be, well, I mean, you could, but for what I want to do today is stick to that and then use that vanilla shade to brighten up the corner, brow bone, etc. But we will get there. What I could have done actually is laid this down first on my entire eyelid, because now I'm kind of overlapping with the darker shades on the outside. That's okay. I'm losing a little bit of that. I'm going to go back in and reinforce that. Just go back and touch up where these meet. And I'll do it on this side as well. Refer 26, and I'm going to go into Fair, this vanilla-y shade. I appreciate that it's not white, like a stark white. It's got a beautiful vanilla-y, like French vanilla ice cream. I like that. Brighten up this inner corner right here. That just really opens up the eye. And I think I want to add a little bit on my brow bone too. Just a little. I'm going to take the same 02 brush that we used to do our lid, and I'm going to go into the third shade, the mid-tone brown, and I'm going to attempt to do my lower lash line very carefully because I have a hard time with it. Sometimes I have a hard time getting eyeshadow to stick to my under eye and look smooth. I'm not having too much trouble connecting it back here. I am going to do some liner using the black shade. This is a Refer 29, the smallest little brush, because I don't want to take it out too much. I just want to keep it as close to the lash line as possible. And this brush is perfect for doing that. This black is extremely pigmented. You do not need a lot. It's laying down so black, and I love that. Okay, now I'm just gonna start flicking out a little bit and just working this out ever so slightly, just to get some nice definition on our lash line and a little baby wing. I do have a little bit of fallout on this cheek. Be sure to tap off your brushes. It's a little dusty. I'm going to grab a clean, fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go around the edges just to make sure we don't have any harshness anywhere. There, so at this point, you could go ahead and do a sparkly topper or add maybe something like a highlighter in the inner corner if you didn't want an all matte look, but you wanted to add some pizzazz to this. But there's something to be said about an all matte eye look. I love it. Not all the time, but I do from time to time like an all matte eye. You can get even deeper obviously, than I have today. You could even use the black. You could get like a complete smoky eye using those two deeper brown shades. Oh me, oh my, gorgeous. Is it basic? Is it boring? Perhaps, but you can do a lot with this little palette. I am going to put some mascara on. I'll be right back and we'll do some comparisons. All right, mascara is on. I also added Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in my lower waterline. Let's get into some comparisons. The first palette that I own that immediately jumped to mind is the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 3 palette. You do have 2 rows in this, more of a selection obviously. This row right here is a little bit more neutral and cool leaning, and this top row right here is warmer leaning. And you also have these 2 cream shadows, one black, one brown. If I put them next to each other, I can immediately see some similarities. So I am going to swatch a few and put them side by side so we can see what they look like. This row is Patrick Ta, and over here we have the Natasha Denona. So for the lightest shades, the tones are completely different from what you get in the Patrick Ta. This shade right here is kind of a mix between the second and third shades from Natasha Denona. Again, not exact. This is the closest one. This one right here with the fourth shade in the Natasha Denona. And then the blacks seem to be very close. It is close. All in all, it'll give you probably the same kind of look on your eye. So if you do have the Patrick Ta, you don't necessarily need the Natasha Denona. The Patrick Ta is a very nice formula as well, very creamy, very blendable. You have your warmer row, you have your cooler neutral row, so a lot more options there. The only thing that I can say is this is much more compact. This is everything that you actually really need in this format. But if you already have the Patrick Ta, it's not like you can make a wildly different look with this palette. Next palettes that come to mind definitely are the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes. This is the original one, the warmer one, and this is the latest one, the neutrals. Here is the Natasha Denona against the original Master Mattes, and here it is against the Master Mattes, the neutrals. So I can see similarities in both palettes, but not in their entirety. I've swatched out the closest I could get. Surprisingly, the Mario is quite different. The undertones, the shades that you get in there, even though at first glance they look very similar, they are not. I had a kind of a hard time trying to match anything up, to be honest with you. So this is Natasha, still on this side, and this is Mario. These bottom 2 right here are from the original Master Mattes, and these top 3 are from Master Mattes, the neutrals. This is as close as I could find. This mid-tone shade in the Natasha Denona, the middle shade, I had a really hard time finding anything remotely close to it. It was either much lighter, much darker, or the undertone was completely off. Now, all that being said, you could probably achieve this look with the Mario palettes as well. Would it be exact? No, it wouldn't be exactly, but the overall idea would be the same. I also pulled out the Charlotte Tilbury Super Nudes. They're not the same at all. And also the Charlotte formula is different. It's not a flat matte. There is a satiny finish to these shadows. I did swatch them all out trying to find something that was remotely close. And although it does look like maybe a couple are, they are not. They're not remotely close. Oh, except for the black shade. That was the only one. Formula-wise, the mattes are creamy, they're pigmented, they're buildable. It is a versatile palette in terms of depth. You can keep it very light for natural everyday looks, all the way up to dark and smoky. You can get pretty dramatic eye looks with this palette here. It is a perfect little basic palette to throw into your makeup bag. Amazing for travel. And you have everything you really need as a base for any eye look. And then you can pop some sparkle on your eyelid and you're good to go. I think this is a great little palette. I'm glad to have it. If you do want to pick this up and are shopping from the Natasha Denona website, I do have a code. It's Paint the Face. I'll add it to the screen right now for 15% off. I really hope you found this helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram as well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.